I'm Tansy Brooke, the Senior Director of ERP Innovation Product Marketing at Oracle. And today I'm joined by Susanna Crowder, the Managing Director at KPMG. Today she's going to share her insights on the role of HR and how that's evolving. Susanna, so great to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Tell me a little about your background.
Well, I've actually worked in the Oracle PeopleSoft environment my whole career. I actually got a degree in psychology, so I'm not sure which way I turned, but it's been fantastic.
How did you get interested in sort of the intersection of people and technology?
Well, one of the first projects that I did was actually PeopleSoft HR, and so HR is near and dear to my heart, and actually has a lot of psychology in it.
You work for KPMG.
I do. I work for KPMG. I lead our U.S. and global go-to-market strategy specifically for our Oracle business.
And what does that look like? What is sort of your role at the organization?
Well, it's really three-pronged. I work with clients, obviously, to help them set out their roadmap for transformation. I work with Oracle as a partner to co-sell in the environment. And then I work within KPMG with our practitioners to make sure that they have what they need to deliver the best client service.
I think one of the things that I love most about my job is having a chance to work with customers. Yes. And really sort of be boots on the ground with the challenges that they're going through. Yeah. And I think, you know, we talk a lot about trust and sort of the importance of going through these transformations, how significant that is, you know, because you're really there with them when they're trying to consider their strategies for their employees.
It's personal. And you're right, it's all based around trust, especially now with everything that we've gone through over the last couple of years. You have employees that are working remotely. You have people that are collaborating across the globe virtually. It's just so important that we're engaging and inspiring them to do their best for our clients.
It's interesting. What's happened in the last few years, I think, has really put a strong lens on the importance of employees. I think people would say in the past, oh, employees are our most important asset, but really the behavior didn't always necessarily reflect that. Now, for the first time with the Great Resignation, and I think everyone just having an opportunity to think like, what are my values? What's most important to me? Really, those conversations are coming to the forefront for every line of business. It's always been important in the HR function, but now it's finance, it's supply chain, and everyone across the business, is asking those questions. And it seems like HR really has a wonderful role to play to help provide some guidance in that area. How are you seeing things evolve within the last couple of years when it comes to talent and employee engagement?
HR has always known this, and now, as you say, the lens has broadened, and so finance, sales, even the risk department, everybody is trying to figure out how do we keep our employees engaged, how do we keep them retained, and how do we develop them in ways that they feel like they are part of the organization, and part of the value structure that you mentioned. I think it's so key. At KPMG, we've gone through a bit of a cultural journey the last 5 or 6 years. We've brought in a lot of new people at the C-level across several different work streams. The most important thing that we did was restate our values publicly, front and center for our clients, for our partners, for our employees. And it really has set us down a path of the way we hire, the way we retain, and how we service our clients in the market.
And as a professional services and a consulting group, your product is your people.
Absolutely. Yeah, people hire us. People hire KPMG because they like to work with us. It's a differentiator for us. And so we have to make sure that we are continually developing our employees and giving them that spark that they enjoy their work, proud to work for KPMG, and are putting their best face forward for our clients.
I think it's interesting that because of what we've gone through the last couple of years, people caring about the work they do has become more front and center for everyone. Mm-hmm. It was a trend that it was already occurring, having younger folks coming into the workforce. Like, it's something that's front and center. One of the things I personally love about some of the younger generation, and something that I personally connect to as well, is having work that provides meaning in your life. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a non-negotiable. Yeah. You want to love the work you do. You want to believe in the companies that you work for. And I'm curious, how do you think about that in terms of as an opportunity, or just how things are shifting in terms of how we look at our roles within organizations?
I think that corporations today, organizations have to be adaptable. Not every employee is the same. What brings one person meaning is going to be different for somebody else. And so you have to stand up, several different types of programs and engagement for your employees so that everybody feels like they have an outlet or something that they can identify with.
So what's the role of technology in employee engagement?
Well, I think it's along two fronts. I think that employees obviously want to work with the latest and greatest technology that's out there. And so I think it behooves organizations to make sure that they are forward thinking and driving into technology innovation that is going to excite and engage their employees, whether they're in the front, middle, or back office. But the other side of that equation is, how are employees engaging with corporate systems? Is it difficult to put your time in? Can I put my time in while I'm on the airplane on my way to Denver, to service the next client? And so I think it really is those two lenses, and both fall with the responsibility of the organization to make sure that they're on the forefront of both.
I was reading an article recently, and they were talking about the importance of not fitting in, but being able to show up as yourself and still be accepted. Like the importance of where you really get the benefits from diversity, equity, and inclusion in many ways from a productivity or an innovation point of view is not everyone fitting into a box and being similar or the same, but really it's letting people show up as individuals and letting them shine for their authentic selves, and then bringing those gifts to the team and the conversations.
You need to have a cohesivity of your organization. There needs to be a culture that brings everybody together, but within that ecosystem, you give everyone the room to be themselves. And you're right, that's the magic, right? That's where we are able to bring that special thing out into the market.
I think it's also really interesting that now more than ever, business leaders are being called on to solve extremely complex problems, and problems that there isn't simple solutions for. And it strikes me that the way that we do that is to have people who have different gifts, who have different abilities. And so in many ways, there's a direct connection to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and productivity and business success.
Yeah, and everything that we're facing today. And you think about the challenges that are happening, and it is going to take a lot of different minds to come to the table and help solve that, whether you're talking about within the organization or across the globe.
One of the things that I think is really interesting is this shift for organizations in general in terms of being values-based. Mm-hmm. Companies are having more of a voice than they've ever had in the past. Companies are taking more of a point of view or a stand on certain issues.
Yeah, it really shines a light on the fact that if you're going to put them out there, you're going to have to follow them. And I think what's most important there is hiring and keeping people that follow the same value structure. Because you're right, whether the issue is big or small, in an organization, you all have to come to consensus. And I think it's much easier to do that if you've hired people that are in line with the overall value structure, the belief system of the corporation.
But one of the things that I think is exciting is that I feel like now is the time when HR professionals really are needed more than ever to sort of step in and help guide the business. Where do you think we are right now in terms of the opportunities for HR professionals?
There's so much reason to be optimistic, and there's so much possibility. And so I feel like employees have so many choices, where they're going to work, who they're going to work for, who they're going to work with. And HR is really in the driver's seat in building the employee of the future and the platform for that type of engagement.
Susanna, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your insights.
It's been a lot of fun. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.